This is True Crime Tradies. Listener discretion is advised. Pussies.
Hey everybody, welcome back to True Crime Tradies. I am Chris, and this fella over here is JB. How you going, mate? How's your week been?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Can't complain. How about yours?
Yeah, pretty good. I've got to say, I know we watch true crime constantly, but I thought I'd take a little bit of a break from true crime for just one day. And I watched that, is it Louis Theroux? Louis Theroux, I think I'm saying that right. Documentary Manosphere. Have you seen that?
I haven't heard of that porno. Is it any good?
Manosphere. It does sound like a gay porn. It's excellent.
I actually have seen it, and I don't know about you, but it enraged me.
Oh, mate, it was so fucking frustrating to watch it. Those guys are such fucking douchebags.
Yeah, I was so angry. I hate that these blokes are representing males and being role models to these young men. Like, just the way that they act and treat not only women, but just people in general, it's disgusting. I'd be ashamed to know one of these douchebags.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, like, with them being a role model, that's the worst part. Don't fucking encourage this behavior. No, and it's because they've got money and they're living that fucking TikTok lifestyle, and little kids look up to them. Well, I mean, little kids, like teenagers, look up to them.
Yeah, I think I can't remember all the names. There was a Harrison bloke, and he was just a fuckwit.
He was one of the main.
And there was the podcaster. They're the worst people in the world.
They are the worst. Yeah,
but just the way he treated his girlfriend on the show, and you can see Louis is really good at creating awkward situations in these documentaries. Yeah. I absolutely love him, and I love what he does. And you're cringing watching these on the couch.
Oh, no.
But just the way he talks to them, and he was checking in with that podcast, I can't remember his name, it's the girlfriend, just to make sure that are you sure you're okay with this? And she clearly wasn't. And I think
you could tell.
Oh, mate, it was horrible, and great documentary, just really to shine light on these guys and what they're really like in the real world, and not just in front of a phone. You know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it is a really, really good doco. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. But it was odd because I had to go back to a murder documentary to get the taste of these fucking cockheads out of my mouth.
I'm glad you said heads there, to get the taste of cock out of your mouth.
It was a self-made porno.
Oh, mate. Oh, well, let's get into today's episode. Have you got a would you rather for me or anything?
I do, actually. This one is still serial killer based. You know I love my serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
So this one for you today, mate, is would you rather be hunted by a serial killer for 48 hours and win $1 million and then you're safe, or you're given the $1 million, but the serial killer might hunt you down one day?
Might hunt me down. So that's not a certainty that they're going to hunt you down.
No.
How competent is the serial killer? Are we talking genius mastermind? You know, the serial killers, like in movies, that will walk after you while you're running away, yet they still catch up?
No, we're talking about proper serial killers here. So they've killed
Bundy.
Multiple people and gotten away with it.
Okay, so we're probably talking in the 70s here.
Yep.
I think this situation, I think I'd take the 48 hours, run the risk. Because, first of all, $1 million is life-changing. You can get it either way, but at least I know the rules there. 48 hours of absolute paranoia, and then it's over. I like that idea better, where the other option is basically living your whole life with that paranoia, like a horror movie.
Looking over your shoulder the whole time.
Yeah, like every knock at the door, you're freaking out. It could be the Uber Eats driver. You know what I mean? Like every bloke walking behind you, you might be thinking today's the day. I hate that. I hate the sound of that. That sounds mentally exhausting.
Yeah. All right, you've talked me into the other one.
Were you going the other way, were you?
I was going the other way, but I'll go 48 hours as well now, actually. I'm so easily swayed. What's wrong with me?
And I'm thinking as well, like, I'd just immediately go off grid. Like, you know, in the bush, like in a cabin. I've thought about this as well far too often. If I was to get away with murder, I'm off grid. I'm in the bush. I'm in a cabin somewhere, and I'm not going to be that idiot in the horror movies that investigates a noise at 2 a.m. I'm hunkering down for 48 hours. And look, worst case scenario, I just hunker down in a Bunnings shed or something for 48 hours and eat canned food and then emerge rich at the end of it. You beauty.
If you did kill someone and went off to live in the bush, how long do you reckon you'd last in there for?
I'd like to think forever, because in your fantasy, you're never going to get caught, and you can last forever there. You know, I like the alone shows that I love watching them, and I like to think on those shows I could live forever. Problem is, I've got family, you know, I've got kids and I've got a wife. That if I was a single man and didn't have any family ties, I'd like to think I could live out there happily forever.
Yeah.
As long as I had the hunting skills, which I sadly do not.
Okay.
Mate, I could be in the middle of the ocean with all the bait in the world and not catch a fish.
I'd last, I reckon, a day and a half out there, and I'd go, this fucking sucks. I'm going home.
Yeah, you probably would get to that point where this sucks so much, I'd rather just be caught and be in jail, you know? Yeah, I could see that being a real possibility as well.
Yeah.
No, it's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, we're both on the same side. I mean, we're both on the side.
Big time.
You swayed me, yeah. Well, speaking of making gay pornos in a cabin in the woods, what do we have today, mate?
You and your segues.
They are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, actually, sorry to cut you off so early. Just before you go into that, we've had a few people ask how they can possibly support our little podcast we've got going here.
Yes.
We've set up this little tip jar, and if you enjoy the show and you want to help us out and keep this thing rolling, you can chuck a few bucks our way. I mean, no pressure at all. Just listening is more than enough. But if you want to support us, the link will be in the description of this episode, as well as our socials and wherever else we can get it out there as well. So really, really much appreciated. If you can, as we said, no stress if you can't. But yeah, it will go a long way for keeping this little podcast machine rolling.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I think people probably don't realize how much time and effort we put into these episodes. We release them weekly. I think between us, we probably spend 10 hours each every week doing it, on top of running our own businesses. So, no, anything would be much appreciated, like you mentioned. Appreciated? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you nailed it the first time.
Gobbledygook. And like, I'm sick of standing outside my local Coles with my hat in my lap trying to get money off people. So this is just an easier way. You can just do it digitally.
Much easier, yeah. And we do love doing this, and we do want to keep doing it. So
yeah, exactly right.
We can do that with your help. So thanks, guys.
Well, speaking of doing it, let's do today's. Let's do it. We're doing The Basement, a Vanishing in Apple Valley.
This one is so fucking good.
It is.
Sheriff Barber's office.
Hi, this is Valerie Haythorne.
Yeah.
I'm at her house. It is covered in blood.
Hold on a second.
I need somebody out here.
We have 2 children missing, the woman that lives at a house, and now a neighbor friend, all missing.
Excuse me, 4 people? In a remote part of Ohio? That just doesn't happen.
Everywhere we go, dead end. Dead end. Dead end. We have 0 suspects, 0 evidence. All we know is that we have 4 missing people. There's a lot of blood. It's pretty much a race against time to find anybody alive.
Are they alive? Are they dead?
The first thing that I am struck by is there are tons of leaves everywhere. This was an unbelievable set of circumstances. It's like a house of horror. I'm sorry.
So this case takes place in Apple Valley, Ohio. Never heard of it, but I know a lot of shit goes down in Ohio, based on all the Sword and Scale episodes that we listen to.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite type of documentary because it starts exactly how all good true crime docos start, and that's with a 911 call. A woman named Valerie Haythorne calls police asking for a welfare check on one of her employees because something feels seriously off.
Sheriff Barber's office.
Hi, my name is Valerie Haythorne, and I work at a Dairy Queen. I'm the general manager out there. One of my employees did not show up for work this afternoon at 4 o'clock, which is totally uncharacteristic of her. She's not answering her phone, which is totally uncharacteristic. She's not answering her text.
So credit to this manager, because imagine being in that position. You're sitting there thinking, am I overreacting? Am I being dramatic? And am I about to look like a complete psycho for calling the police because someone missed work?
Or the manager's a bitch and she's like, she better be dead if she hasn't turned up for work.
That's the only viable excuse I'm going to accept. But Valerie says this behavior was completely out of character. And the woman she's worried about is Tina Herman. Now, she's reliable. She's a great mum and she always showed up. And she's the sort of person that even if she was 10 minutes late, you'd be thinking something's wrong. This call is made on Wednesday, November 10th, 2010. And the one thing I really liked about this documentary, it almost has this 24-hour drama feel to it. You know what I mean? There's this clock that appears on screen and it says hour 1. So straight away, you get this feeling the investigators are in a race against time. Tina is a single mum with 2 kids, 13-year-old Sarah and 11-year-old Cody. Former FBI Special Agent Harry Trombitis describes Tina as incredibly dependable, kind and devoted to her kids. So immediately with this situation, the alarm bells are ringing. Police head out to Tina's house for the welfare check. Her car's in the driveway, they knock on the door, they look through windows and nothing. There's no movement. There's no sign of Tina. So the officer decides he'll come back later in the shift and check again. And at this stage, fair enough, like it's hard for police to just go kicking someone's front door in because their manager says, hey, this is weird. He returns around about 11 p.m., but this time Tina's car's gone. He knocks again, bangs on windows, still no answer. But naturally he assumes, okay, well, maybe she just came home and then went back out, being that her car's missing. By Thursday morning, it's now around 24 hours since anyone's heard from Tina, and she misses work again. At this point, Valerie thinks, nah, something's seriously wrong here, so she decides to physically go over to the house herself. And this is where everything changes. Like, she notices an open window near the back of the house, and she did exactly what I think I would do and probably what you would do. She doesn't call police. She climbs inside the house to see what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Sheriff Barber's office.
Hi, this is Valerie Haythorne.
Yeah.
I'm at her house. It is covered in blood.
Okay. Hold on a second.
I need somebody out here.
Okay, let me transfer you. Hold on. Hey, I've got Valerie Hawthorne on the phone. Okay. She's down at Kings Beach Drive. That's where that female's missing from. She got into the house and said the whole place is covered in blood.
The scene inside is horrific. There's blood on the bed, blood on the carpet, there's bloody footprints, there's drag marks through the hallway. And not just in one room either. It's like the bedrooms, the hallway, the bathroom, the bathtub. There's blood fucking everywhere.
The amount of blood in that bathroom is fucking crazy, and in the bath. But do you know what the most disgusting part of the crime scene photos was from that bathroom?
What?
Carpet in the bathroom. Whose fucking idea was to put carpet in a bathroom?
I hadn't even noticed. I think I was so mesmerized by all the blood around the scene.
Mesmerized? I don't think that's the right word to use.
Well, I used it, so it's sort of unsettling. Like, not even the bathroom, but I don't know if you do this, but I've never done this. People have that thing that wraps around the toilet, and it's like a fairy bit of carpet that you can stand on.
Oh, yeah.
I always find that unsettling too, because you just know there's drops of urine on that thing.
I think that's what it's for, isn't it?
No, it's
piss drops.
No, it's well, I've always assumed it was for people because you walk into a cold toilet, and if you've got bare feet, you're not standing there on the cold tiles.
That makes a lot more sense.
That makes a shitload more sense. That's not there to collect your droplets.
I guess at Kmart they don't have piss drop mat on the on the tag.
It's not a dog product. Oh, I've lost my train of thought now. But seriously, police immediately know this is bad. It's like really, really bad. It's now Friday, November 12th, 41 hours since Tina was first noticed missing, and the Bureau of Criminal Identification and Investigation arrives to process the scene. Fuck, I nailed that.
You did.
And just as they're setting up, Tina's boyfriend shows up, and naturally investigators immediately thinking, okay, mate, where have you been? He tells police Tina lived with their 2 kids, Sarah and Cody, and suddenly the investigators realise this might be way worse than they thought, because now they don't just have 1 missing person, they potentially have 3. Police quickly contact the kids' school. Turns out Sarah and Cody attended school Wednesday, but haven't been back since. So now we've gone from 1 potentially missing woman to a woman and 2 kids, but it gets even worse, believe it or not. Crime scene investigators head into the garage and notice a Jeep parked in there. They run the registration and it belongs to a neighbour, Stephanie Sprang. So this is a really confusing scene and the police are thinking, what the fuck? I mean, as far as anyone can tell, all 4 people have vanished.
Over a dozen friends and neighbors gathered together this morning, scouring a wooded area in Knox County, looking for any sign of a missing family.
Here at a local gas station, they've posted a poster, pictures of the 4 people missing, and they're asked to call the Knox County Sheriff's Department if anybody has information.
So one of Tina's co-workers at the ice cream shop, Teresa Vickers, she tells us everything that we already know about them, like really nice person, blah, 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 blah. But I wanted to mention her again because she looks so haunting. She looks like she's fucking come back from the dead for this interview. Like, she must have had a hard life in fucking old Apple Valley, Ohio. She gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Can we just have one episode where we're not teasing someone based on their physical appearance, Chris?
You have
Come
to see
on,
this
mate.
Woman, though.
Yeah, but look, her face does not move at all when she talks. If she had Botox on her forehead, they would have needed another shipment because they could land a fucking aeroplane on that thing. Oh, poor
She looks
Teresa.
like the Crypt Keeper. Can you imagine her serving you ice cream at the shop?
Another scoop.
I can smell your soul.
Oh, this poor woman just appeared on this documentary to talk about her poor friend, and we've just...
She does seem lovely. She just looks horrifying.
That's true. That's true. So we've heard all about Tina. Hear a little bit more about the kids. You know, Sarah was sporty and outgoing, and Cody, by all accounts, was just a happy 11-year-old kid. And Stephanie, the neighbour, was one of Tina's closest friends. They were gym buddies. They were super tight. And in fact, the gym was one of the last places both women had been seen alive. Police still have no clue whether these people are missing voluntarily, kidnapped or dead. But really, by the looks of the crime scene, I don't think there's a possibility of it just being a case of them being missing voluntarily. Do you?
I wasn't listening. She put me on the spot.
I wasn't listening. What are you even doing here, mate? I don't know if I can talk to myself.
I don't know what's going on with me today.
Play the audio.
Sorry. I heard your affliction with a question and went, oh, shit.
We don't know what the result of the violence in the home, whoever the violence was against is still alive or if they're dead. What happened to them? We have no idea. We have no idea where they are. It appears as though at least one of the victims is injured, most likely severely, and they would most likely need medical attention as soon as possible. But at this point, we weren't sure exactly what we had.
Investigators trace phones. Are you listening, Chris?
Yeah,
the investigators trace phones and bank accounts, and they end up with donuts, no activity whatsoever. And at this point, police have to consider every possibility. Like, did someone attack Tina? Did someone flee? Was someone taken? Was this targeted? Blah, blah, blah. But nobody knows, and the entire town starts searching. And the search included Tina's live-in ex-boyfriend, Greg Borders.
As soon as I heard the live-in ex-boyfriend, I thought, he's our suspect for sure. And also, by the way, the image that they use of Tina for her missing persons photo is fucking terrible. She looks like she's got like a Dumb and Dumber haircut.
She's had a bowl put on her head.
Yeah. I don't know why they picked the worst photos of people to use them on the news. It's horrible.
Let's try not hate on the victim too much. But yeah, she has a classic Karen haircut, doesn't she?
She does, yeah. I'm sure she's got some amazing photos, but that wasn't one of them. No, it wasn't her best.
Wasn't her best Tinder profile photo, that's for sure. So yeah, they're looking into this ex-live-in boyfriend, Greg, and he tells the investigators he left Wednesday morning for work. He later played golf with a friend and stayed overnight. It kind of sounds like Brokeback Mountain 2, doesn't it? Manosphere.
The Manosphere 2.
Yeah. Stephanie's boyfriend says she simply never came home. So he doesn't have much of an alibi there. So the detectives start digging into their phone records and tower pings and timelines and shit. And annoyingly for investigators, I say annoyingly, but everything checks out. Every movement lines up and every story matches, which is honestly huge because imagine life before mobile phone data. We've had many cases where we've spoken about how they can solve things through mobile phone data and towers and shit. But they'd spend absolutely weeks grilling these poor guys, being the boyfriend's or ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
You just never know. So, meanwhile, police are slowly ruling out the usual suspects because they had no known enemies, no major disputes with anyone. There doesn't appear to be an obvious motive. It's just dead end after dead end for them. And as each lead disappears, the suspect pool, in a sense, it keeps getting bigger because they're just roaring dead.
The community is on the lookout. They search trails along the Kokosing River. It's a search that's getting more and more desperate.
We need to, despite what the end result, we need to find them.
I think something bad happened.
Greg Warder's still in shock that his live-in ex-girlfriend, Tina Herman, has seemingly vanished. Her two children, 13-year-old Sarah and 10-year-old Cody Maynard, along with family friend Stephanie Sprang, all gone too.
It's very frustrating. I mean, I'm sick to my stomach.
The entire community bands together searching fields and woods and lakes, and looking at this town, it sort of feels endless because it just appears to be full of forest, creeks and open land. The worst part, like nobody knows what they're scared of either. They don't know if this was a targeted attack or if it's random. Like there could be a serial offender on the loose. They don't know, and police can't give them any sort of reassurance on that. No one knows if they're safe, and uncertainty freaks people out more than anything, really. And meanwhile, crime scene investigators are still working through Tina's house. And in the garage, they find something really interesting. Inside a plastic bag are brand new tarps, rolls of garbage bags, and most importantly, there's a receipt from Walmart, and it's time-stamped 12:08 a.m., November 11th, which is huge because you've got to remember police noticed Tina missing on the 10th of November. So that means that someone purchased these supplies after concern had already been started. Whoever bought them may have still been inside the house after police were already sniffing around that first time they knocked.
This receipt is gigantic. I mean, this is the key break in the investigation. Because up to this point, we're hitting walls everywhere we turn.
Detectives head straight to Walmart. And I don't know about you, but I was expecting disappointment because normally there's CCTV in these cases. It's either missing or filmed, I don't know, by a potato.
Not
or
at
some
Walmart,
shit.
though. They're known to have amazing CCTV footage.
That's true. Then it's always like really good, like above the counter sort of footage of the people. But look, yeah, they get the footage and it shows a male buying tarps, the garbage bags, and strangely a turkey sandwich from the deli. Like, imagine doing something horrific and then thinking, I might grab a sandwich while I'm here. He also grabs a fresh shirt, which that feels sort of creepy for me because it's sort of like he's expected to be covered in blood and he's going to need a change of clothes. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. He pays cash. That's annoying for the detectives, but it's also smart. And yeah, that's the CCTV footage, like we mentioned. The quality for me is still rubbish. I still swear it always is. You're talking about how good it is. I can never tell what people look like. These detectives are always like, yeah, that's that guy.
This was also back, when was this? 2010, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So it was a long time ago. You know,
yeah,
HD was the best possible.
Yeah, yeah, it's no 4K back then.
No.
Maybe there was. I don't know. I'm not a nerd. But the detectives spot something massive. He lives in a silver Toyota Yaris. And how many grown men are voluntarily driving around in a silver Toyota Yaris? That's what I want to know. And luckily for their investigators, not many, because they check the registrations in the area. There's only a handful, and they get super lucky. They come across one registered owner by the name of Matthew Hoffman. And this is where the luck for detectives gets ridiculous, because when they pull up his license photo, he appears to be wearing the exact T-shirt he's seen in his license as the one he was wearing in the Walmart on the CCTV.
He must have only owned one shirt. That's why he was buying a second one that night.
Yeah, maybe. And the investigators, but they just couldn't believe it. Like, one detective says moments like that feel like pennies falling from heaven. Which was bizarre. And so with this, for the first time in days, police finally have a serious lead. So naturally, detectives immediately start digging into Matthew Hoffman. And the more they look, the weirder this bloke gets. It turns out that Matthew Hoffman has a criminal history, multiple offences, a reputation for odd behaviour, and according to people who knew him, he wasn't exactly thriving.
So now we have a suspect, Matthew Hoffman. And we pull up Matthew's information.
So we're finding out who he is.
We're able to see he had a criminal record.
He's got priors in Colorado, burglary, arson. He's been in prison.
And comes out after 6 years, and now he's back in Knox County. And he hooks up with a tree trimming company and starts cutting trees. Well, when they discovered that he had a criminal record, they fired him.
He had previously been fired from a job after co-workers discovered parts of his criminal past, and now he's just unemployed and he's floating around nearby towns. But more importantly, his mum lived in Apple Valley, not far away from Tina's house. So this makes it feel a whole less random.
Yeah, I think the mum was only half a mile away from Tina's house. But the photo that they show of Matthew, I think it's maybe one of his previous mugshots, as you said. He reminded me of the guy from that movie Split. You know, where James McAvoy's character, he's a nutter. He's got all those split personalities.
Yes,
he looks so much like that in this photo.
Yeah, he really does. And he plays that character really well in that movie. He was really good. But I know exactly what you mean. He's got a bald head in this other mugshot, but then in his license he has hair, so I'm not sure what the go is with that shot, but it's really unsettling.
Well, hair grows.
Does it? Detectives discover Matthew had also been involved in a domestic violence incident with an ex-girlfriend. Apparently they had gotten into a fight and he allegedly slammed her against the wall and tried to strangle her. And this becomes important later because not because she had pressed charges, she doesn't, but the police reports contains his mobile number, and detectives immediately move in to get a warrant so they can track his phone. Once that warrant's approved, investigators use technology to monitor whether Matthew's phone is connecting to nearby towers, and they get a hit, which shows his phone is active near one of his last known addresses. And maybe it's just me, but at this point I'm thinking, couldn't they have just knocked there first? Like, couldn't they have just gone to these addresses to see if it was there? Then going through all this bullshit.
It seems like that'd be the obvious place here to be.
Yeah, and it seems like, time is of the essence here. You know, we've got 4 missing people and they're waiting for search warrants on a phone. Just fucking go door knock and smash the door down. You've got probable cause to be kicking doors in. Just do it, man.
Just get the ice cream manager. She'll climb through the window, no worries.
But anyway, police are taking absolutely no chances because if this guy is responsible for what happened, like I said, he's incredibly dangerous. So SWAT gets involved and investigators decide to hit 2 locations at exactly the same time. Matthew's home and his mum's house, because she lived, like you mentioned, I think it was less than a kilometre from Tina's house. So they were thinking if they hit the wrong house first and Matthew gets tipped off, he could potentially disappear forever and they would never find out what happened to Tina, Stephanie, Sarah and Cody. So the plan is to knock on the doors simultaneously at 8 a.m. because at this stage of the investigation, they don't know if they're still alive or if they're tied up or if they're somewhere. So the team at Matthew's house starts moving in, screaming, FBI, open the door. And surprisingly, Matthew answers. Like, there's no dramatic standoff or anything. I'm sure SWAT were expecting that. He just opens the door. But police notice he looked absolutely cooked. Like, his hair is everywhere. He looks exhausted. He's disheveled. And it's like he hasn't slept in days. But they also said he looked like almost relieved. Like, part of him knew this was coming. So the police move inside, and this is where things get bizarre.
Entering the house was really a bizarre experience. The first thing that I am struck by is there are tons of leaves everywhere. You step inside the front door, and right immediately off to your right is a big room, literally filled with a pile of leaves, probably 4 or 5 feet high.
This house is full of leaves. And I don't mean, oh, it's a bit messy. I mean, like, nature documentary levels of leaves in this fucking house. Like, floor, there's leaves. Rooms, leaves. Furniture's leaves. There's fucking leaves everywhere. It generally looks like autumn exploded in this guy's house.
Yeah, it's like a couple of feet high of leaves in the rooms.
Yeah, it's nuts. And police start checking everywhere. And imagine being the poor evidence guy. It's like, bag it. Bag what? Just everything, mate. And there's this huge pile of leaves on a tarp in the lounge room. Like you said, I think it's like a couple of feet tall. And one of the investigators says, hey, have you checked that pile? Because the missing people might be under it. That's how big this pile of leaves are, that they think there might be 4 bodies under there. But they weren't in there, unfortunately. They move into the kitchen. They open the freezer and find 2 dead squirrels. So it's getting weirder and weirder, but it gets even weirder than that. In one bathroom, every wall is covered in plastic bags stuffed with leaves and stapled to the walls.
This, even describing it, it's hard to imagine. I will put up a photo on the socials, but it's fucking weird as.
But it's also super neat. I thought he did a really, really good job.
He's done a very good job, but it's so bizarre.
So bizarre. So why do you think he's doing it? Because they don't touch on this. So why do you think
I reckon
he's done
it's
this?
twofold. I reckon he's got an obsession with trees and leaves, and then also to insulate the house.
Yeah, my initial thought was insulating the house, because I think one of the investigators mentions that the house is like 60 to 100 years old and it's cold as fuck in there. But I also thought he might have been doing it for soundproofing, to say like the victims yelling and screaming won't be heard by neighbours. That was also a possibility. I mean, but like we were saying, he's done an incredible job at doing this. It would have taken ages for him to do what he had done, but like you said, we'll put it on the socials.
I walked into the bathroom, and every wall of the bathroom is lined with a plastic bag filled with leaves and stapled to the wall. Neatly, uniformly stapled to the wall.
I never saw anything like that.
This is like really bizarre stuff. You just don't see this kind of thing. Huge pile of leaves stapled to the wall. It's just crazy. It's like a house of horror.
As police continue searching the house, they find another bedroom, and furniture has been stacked in front of a door, almost barricading it. Investigators move everything out of the way, and they find a steep staircase leading down to a dark basement area. It looks all cold, wet, and dirty. And I got to say, even if I own this house with that basement, I'm not going down there.
No, God, I bought it up for sure.
Yeah, it's creepy as fuck. And they put on their brave faces and they head down there, and they notice bricks removed from beneath part of the house, like someone had created a hidden cavity underground. And this is the part that gets even crazier. I keep saying it keeps going to that next level, Chris.
It does.
Because when police shine lights into that space, hidden underneath the house, guess what they find down there?
It's got to be more leaves.
No, dickhead. They find 13-year-old Sarah Maynard.
Within a few minutes, I was face to face with Sarah Maynard. I'm sorry. I've never found anybody alive like that. And it was unbelievable. I mean, we rescued this girl, and it was unbelievable. It gets communicated back on the police radio that, you know, we've got a girl in the basement and she's alive.
So this is so crazy, but because for days, investigators had no idea if anyone had survived this. And based on the crime scene, you wouldn't have thought so. But so they find Sarah alive. She's terrified, she's restrained, but she seems uninjured. So there's a lot of joy from the investigators. But at the same time, everyone's thinking the same thing, like, where are the others and why is Sarah alone? We later hear from Sarah herself. She's all grown up now, and hearing her speak is honestly pretty powerful because she remembers everything. We see photographs of Sarah in that basement, and these photos will stay with you for sure, and we'll put these on the socials as well. They show her hands in socks, and they've been bound tightly, like wrapped with rope and duct tape, and they look like snow mittens from a distance.
Yeah, it does look like that. I found it. Is it standard for evidence to take photos of her before taking like the rope and the mittens off her?
Definitely. They would have wanted to say, okay, we're so sorry, Sarah. We really want to let you know you're safe now. We want to remove these bandages and the ropes, everything off you, but we just got to take some photos. And her face is haunting in it. I can still see it now. I shut my eyes at night, I'll be able to see it. And I don't know how to put it. It's just haunting the way she's sitting there, and it would have been horrendous for the investigators, horrendous for her, but they've got to go through a process so they can get all the evidence and eventually take Matthew to court with it. So her feet are also tied as well, so she's completely restrained. She is rushed to hospital, and she's later interviewed by detectives, and what she says is horrifying.
Cody and I went to school, had a normal day at school, came home. He was like kind of rushing to the steps of the house. And I said, Cody, wait. So I had opened the door. Well, it felt like somebody was like on the other side of the door messing with the doorknob. And so when I had opened the door, I kind of like fell in a little bit. I looked down, went to take my shoes off, and seen a pile of blood.
Her mum would usually greet them at the door when they got home, but she also notices that the family dog hasn't come running to greet them either, which, look, if you've got a dog, you instantly know is weird. Like, my dog cuts sick at me when I get home, and I fucking live there, you know? Like, I can head outside, being inside, go to my ute, come back, and he's going sick at me. So I think for her, that was probably the biggest thing, that something wasn't quite right. She calls out for her mum, and she starts to head down the hallway when a man suddenly jumps out and grabs her by the throat. Sarah manages to fight free and running towards her bedroom, but when she gets there, she can see there's blood everywhere. And before she can even process what is happening, he catches her and holds a knife to her chest. She remembers looking down at this knife, and it is covered in blood. He asks her who else is due home, and she mentions that her mother's boyfriend's going to be home soon. He pretty much just laughs in her face, and he ends up tying her up, gags her, and blindfolds her. She says that she doesn't really know what happened to Cody in that moment. Did he run? Because they both got home at the same time. She's got no idea what happened to him. All of a sudden, this guy's running at her. So
yeah, she's hoping he ran out the front door or just
she just had no idea at this point. Matthew throws her over his shoulder, carries her to the garage, puts her in the back of a vehicle, and drives away. At one point, he stops near a local baseball field and moves her into another car, which, I mean, that sounds really calculated to me. Like, he planned to do this. And for some reason, he removes the blindfold but leaves the gag on. He then drives her back to his house, to the basement, to what she later describes as basically a bed made of leaves, covered with one of her mum's blankets.
Yeah, he apparently said to her, I wanted to make the bed comfortable for you, so I added more leaves. He's just fucking creepy.
Ugh.
I asked where my mom and brother was, and I said, so how are we going to get to school? He got very angry, and he's like, if you bring it up again, I'm going to kill you. I'm sitting, and my arms are still tied behind my back. He pushes me down, and so now I'm laying down on the bed of leaves. and then duct tapes my legs together. So there's no possible way for me to move. He said he kidnapped me for ransom, that if I tried to escape, something about his buddies are going to come get me, and he's going to get away.
Matthew tells Sarah this is all for ransom. And Sarah said she didn't even really know what ransom meant because she was like 13. You got to remember that.
Yeah, she's very innocent.
But she knew enough to understand this man probably wasn't going to let her go. And honestly, you can't imagine how terrifying that would be at her age or any age, actually.
Mm.
He walks back up the steps. Don't know where he's going. And then he comes back downstairs and he has a bowl of cereal with milk and said that's what I had to eat. And then I smelled the milk and it smelled spoiled, so I didn't eat anything. He said, if you're still hungry, you have to eat a dead squirrel. So he had the squirrel in his hand. And so I was scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's he gonna do? Force me to eat it? So I didn't eat anything.
So Matthew ends up coming back down to the basement at one point and he removes Sarah's pants while she's still bound, places the knife on her chest, and then unfortunately sexually assaults her. I'd had my fingers crossed that she wasn't going to get sexually assaulted. I hate watching or reading anything about rape or sexual assault. I could watch docos about murder all day long, no dramas. But for some reason, something about the sexual assault, it doesn't sit well with me. I don't even watch The Handmaid's Tale with my wife.
I think it's probably because you've got two daughters. I don't know if that your perception has changed since having kids, but look, I had the same thought, but to be honest, if a guy's going to kill the family and spare the teenage daughter and tie her up in his basement, he's not exactly doing that to have someone to play board games with. You know what I mean? It's just sickening. You just know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you just hope it doesn't.
Yeah, I know. So meanwhile,
Sarah.
back at the police station, police are interrogating Matthew for hours. And if you're looking forward to hearing some good interrogation audio, you're going to be really disappointed because Matthew is stonewalling them. He says absolutely nothing, not one word.
Yeah, just literally nothing.
Yeah, and he looks just like Eric Cartman from South Park. You see him the first time, he's wearing this red jumper with this weird beanie. He's not fat, but he just looked bizarre. And detectives try everything, like pressure, silence, questions. One investigator even says it feels like talking to someone in a trance. So eventually they switch tactics and they bring in a female FBI agent with a softer approach. I think they had mentioned that he had spoken to her out in the hallway and felt like she might be able to get something out of him.
Yeah.
Like she's more calm, she's more conversational. And weirdly, after about half an hour, Matthew finally starts talking. So I said there wasn't really going to be any audio of the interrogation, but there's just enough you can sort of hear, and there's just nothing that juicy. But days of absolutely having nothing, investigators may finally be getting some sort of answers from him. So after sitting there for hours, Matthew finally starts talking, but it's not much. It's sort of enough for investigators to lean in because even now he's still not outright confessing. He's rambling about dreams, visions, and weird cryptic shit, like he's speaking in riddles.
Ultimately, he has a conversation with Joe and tells Joe that he's dreaming and he's seeing these horrendous images in his dreams.
He says, I had this dream of what had happened. I will tell you where the bodies are. He did it. He killed 3 people. I will tell you where the bodies are, but only if you agree to kill me while we're out there.
Well, that's not going to happen.
So the investigators are sitting here thinking, mate, we don't need poetry. Are the people fucking alive or not, mate? Because remember, at this stage, they still genuinely don't know. For all police know, Tina, Cody, and Stephanie could be somewhere waiting to be rescued, just like Sarah. Every minute matters, but Matthew keeps dancing around the answers talking in circles, he's giving weird clues, and he's never directly saying what happened. And honestly, I feel like he's enjoying the control. Like, for the first time in his life, he's got that control, and he's the smartest person in the room.
It must be so frustrating for the cops. They just want to grab him and just shake him and say, just fucking tell me where they are. But they know he'll just close up again and not say anything.
That's true. That's the risk. You just want it to be like the old days, like smash him with a bag of oranges or hit him with a phone book. Yeah, I did that many times and it worked. But no, they're desperate. And eventually they make him an offer. And this offer is that the death penalty comes off the table. But in return, he has to tell them exactly what happened. No games, no riddles, no bullshit. And more importantly, he tells them where the others are. Matthew agrees, and he says the investigators need to head to his favorite tree. You mentioned earlier he's obsessed with trees and shit. And that's in the Kokosing Gap Trail. Did I get that right?
You have to do it with an Asian accent, Charles.
Oh, Kokosing! So he sketches out a rough map, starts describing landmarks, and detectives waste absolutely no time. They jump in their cars and head straight there, because even if there is a tiny chance that someone's alive, they need to haul ass. When they arrive, investigators quickly spot the tree, and it's really eerie. The tree is massive. It just towers above everything else. It's giant,
like 60 foot tall or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. Yeah, it's a giant beech tree, and about halfway up, there appears to be a hollow section inside of it. So police carefully cut a small opening lower down so they can look inside safely. And one detective uses a mirror and peers into the hollow section and sees something. It's black garbage bags, several of them.
We're like, you gotta be kidding me. He really did this. He really did this. We lay a tarp out on the ground, and we're all gathered around as the two crime scene guys are lifting the garbage bags out. All of us are thinking at this point that what is really in those bags? Are they really body parts? We gather around the tarp, and the two crime scene detectives were watching as they pull one bag after another out. They pull 7 garbage bags out. Now they're laying on the tarp. And we're all gathered around, kind of quiet and like shaking our heads and just in disbelief, I think. Nobody's really saying anything, but once we have all 7 bags out, there's a sadness there that we're all feeling, that this is really family members, of our missing people. Awful, awful situation.
So everyone already knows that they've found them, and inside the hollow tree are the remains of Tina Herman, Cody Maynard, and Stephanie Sprang. And you know what? Like, the logistics of this still blows my mind. How on earth this bloke managed to get multiple bodies 30 feet up into a hollow tree? Have you ever tried to lift dead weight? It's bloody heavy.
Very heavy. Yeah. I think you've mentioned before about dead weight. It's so much heavier than the person would be normally.
Yeah, for sure. And if you've ever tried to carry anything awkward as well, like a fridge or a couch or something, you know how quickly shit can go wrong or gets impossible. Now imagine doing that up a tree.
Yeah, it was the hollowed section. That was 30 foot up. So, and they don't really go into how he got them up there. So I did some research, and he ended up creating a pulley system and taking the bags up there that way, because they were in 7 bags. So he obviously cut them up as well.
Yeah, makes sense. Because I'm I don't know about you, but I struggle carrying groceries in one trip because I'm too stubborn to go back to the car. I just want to get it all done in one go. Yeah, pulleys makes most sense, but it must have taken him a long time. Not only getting the bodies to the tree from his car, and did he have a ladder and shit to set this whole rigging system up?
Yeah, because it's not like there's branches all the way up this tree. Like, it's one big tree trunk and then branches 30 foot up.
Yeah, exactly. So amazing that he was able to pull it off. And if he had not told them the location, they would never have been found. No chance.
No way.
No chance. So the police and the community are devastated, but no one feels it harder than Sheriff David Barber. And at a press conference, you can see he's barely holding it together himself. His voice is all shaking. eyes are watering. And you can tell that this case has absolutely broken him.
Today, this investigation took a major turn. We have discovered and recovered the remains of Cody Maynard, Stephanie Sprang, and Tina Herman. We're inspired by Sarah. We're inspired by Sarah's bravery. I asked Larry Maynard to convey to Sarah, to tell her that she was my hero.
Investigators later say that after the press conference, the leading detective walked past David's office and could hear him inside the office sobbing, like completely overwhelmed. The detective checked on him and said, "Oh, you all right, mate? Do you need anything?" And he's wiping tears away and says, "No, I think I'll be okay." And it's just heartbreaking. And that's the thing. I spoke about this on The Perfect Neighbour. We always talk about victims and offenders, but sometimes we forget that the investigators are absorbing these horrific things for decades and then carrying it home.
You see it a lot on the documentaries. They still get so emotional about it.
Yeah, I know.
It must weigh on them.
Yeah, that it definitely does. And it gets worse here because not long after the case is over, the lead investigator gets a call at home.
After this case, I got a phone call from somebody who told me that Sheriff Barber had committed suicide in his home. And that was a shocker because Dave, to me, was, not only a friend, but, he's kind of happy-go-lucky guy and just so nice to be around. And to know that he ended his life just was shocking.
Sheriff Barber took his own life. And we don't know why that happened, but I can't help but imagine that some of what we went through that week probably took a toll on him.
Oh my God. This case, the hits just keep coming. It's just so crazy.
Yeah, it is. This one hit me too. Like, he died by suicide, and it hits hard because everyone describes him the same way. He was kind, he was funny, he was generous, he was basically happy-go-lucky. The sort of person that everyone liked, but nobody knows exactly why he did what he did. And obviously you can never reduce something like suicide to one event, but people close to him couldn't help but wonder how much this case affected him. Like the things he saw, especially involving kids. So yeah, you can understand. I mean, from a distance anyway, you can't really understand. Meanwhile, investigators asked Sarah what she thinks about the deal that was offered to Matthew about removing the death penalty. And I like her answer. She says she's okay with it because she wants him to suffer, to rot in prison for life, to wake up every day and still be there. But enough about that fuckwit. We wanted to know what happened to Sarah afterwards, because after surviving something this horrific, you just hope life gave her something good. And in a lot of ways, thankfully, it eventually did. She's all grown up now, like we mentioned. She has children of her own. And by all accounts, she seems to be doing much better.
Yeah, she does look a lot better, yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, her road after the kidnapping wasn't exactly smooth. After everything happened, Sarah went to live with her father, Larry Maynard, and her stepmother, Tracy Maynard. And according to police reports, things were abusive there too. Reports say Larry punched Sarah in the back, and days later, Tracy allegedly pushed her downstairs. Both later faced misdemeanor domestic violence and assault allegations, and protection orders were reportedly put in place. And after what that girl had survived already, that's crazy. You got to think, give this kid a break, please.
Just give her a hug. Fucking hell. I want to find out more about the actual murders as well, because they don't go into that very much in the documentary, and that's the part that fascinates me, as you know. So when I was reading Matthew Hoffman's confession letter, which was 10 pages long, he said he spent the night in the woods across from the house and waited until everyone had left for the day. Once the coast was clear, he entered the house apparently just to rob it. But he was surprised when Tina came home, And he forced Tina into the bedroom, laid her down on the bed, attempted to beat her unconscious with a blackjack. I had to Google what a blackjack was.
Yeah, I had no idea. When I read that, I thought it was a typo.
Yeah. It's like a little handheld baton.
It looks like a sex toy, let's be honest.
It does look like a sex toy, yeah. So he tried to beat her to death with a dildo. That didn't work. And then that's when the neighbour, Stephanie, she ran in and she started yelling, obviously. And that's when he panicked and he grabbed a large hunting knife that he'd brought in and he stabs Tina in the back with it. Obviously, Stephanie runs out of the room, but Matthew's close behind her and he corners her in Sarah's bedroom, stabs her multiple times in the chest, and then he drags her back into the main bedroom where Tina's laying in a pool of blood. He then stabs Tina a few more times just to make sure she's dead. And this is when the family dog, it won't stop barking at him because obviously it's probably freaking out as well. So Matthew kills the family dog as well. He then drags the bodies into the bathroom and then lifts them into the bathtub where he starts to dismember them and place them into garbage bags from the house. He then moved the neighbour's Jeep into the garage and places the body parts into the car. And this is when Cody and Sarah come home from school. Sarah, this is when she freaks out and she runs for safety in her bedroom. But Matthew took this opportunity to stab young Cody in the chest repeatedly. Then he turns his attention to Sarah, but he said he just couldn't bring himself to kill her.
Right. So
according to him, this was just a robbery that got out of hand.
I call bullshit on that.
Definitely bullshit.
Because it seemed like, okay, why would he bring a hunting knife with him? And then it seemed like he prepared that car that was nearby at the baseball field. But then at the same time, he didn't know that the neighbour was going to come over. And then how did he know that was the neighbour? Did he then grab her car and put it... Oh, maybe she had parked out the front potentially.
Yeah, possibly.
To then move her car into the garage. That's weird.
Yeah.
A few details in this that don't add up.
Yeah, to me, I mean, the house was isolated, so he said that's why he targeted for the robbery.
Yeah.
But to me, because his mum lived half a mile down the road, I reckon he saw Sarah and he became just a bit infatuated with her.
I agree with that, 100%.
Because he also, you spoke earlier about his previous arrests, and he was previously arrested for robberies and arson as well. He claims with that he robbed a place, but then realised halfway through he forgot to put on gloves, so his fingerprints were going to be everywhere.
That's why he burned the place down.
So he burnt the house down to hide the evidence. So apparently, after he killed and moved the bodies and he took Sarah into the basement, he went back to the house with cans of petrol to burn the house down.
Well, that makes sense. Then,
yeah. And then a cop in the area, he noticed him and he said, "Hey, what are you doing here? Like, it's a bit bizarre that you're around here." And then he said, "Oh, I'm just visiting my girlfriend." And the cop said, "Well, what's your girlfriend's name?" And he said, "Oh, her name's Sarah."
Oh.
Yeah. And then the cop, he actually wrote his name down as details. So he probably would have been looked at as a suspect because of that.
I was going to say, he would have been eventually linked.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if it wasn't for that receipt in the Walmart bag in the garage, if he got rid of that, there's no way they would have found Sarah in his basement. There's no way they would have been able to tie him to it. So I was thinking that was it. I mean, he still may not have been caught by that little bit of police interaction. You know, there's no way that they would, there's no way knowing that they would tie that to that. But when you think about how lucky Sarah was to be found, unfortunately the other three died. And it must have been such a frenzy attack because I think Sarah mentions that Cody was only slightly ahead of her walking up to the door. By the time she comes in, he's been stabbed to death. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Must have been just such a frenzied attack. And I don't know, I think, like you mentioned, him claiming that it wasn't meant to be that way. Yeah, I call bullshit. There's no way.
I think it's bullshit too.
There's no way. And if those leaves on the wall for that purpose of soundproofing as well, that makes even more sense.
That makes sense too. Yeah, you set that up.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that extra gory info, Chris. That was really
that's what I'm here
really
for.
Good. Yeah, it's like, but why?
It was good.
That's the thing. Why is it that I have no issue hearing about humans being murdered, yet the moment an animal is hurt, especially a dog, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, actually, even when I was writing that about the dog, I thought, oh God, people are going to hate this.
Yeah, I know. I guess that means it goes to show that we could never be serial killers because They're always into hurting animals.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. That's the only thing that's stopping us.
That's it. I just want to quench that thirst of murdering as many people as I can, but these damn animals.
Keeping us honest.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, what did you think of the documentary as a whole anyway?
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I hadn't heard of this one before you mentioned it, and after watching it, I was shocked. I was shocked that I hadn't heard of it. I was shocked that it wasn't a bigger case on people's radars.
Yeah, same.
It's so good.
I saw the preview to it and I thought, what the fuck is this? And the way that they structured the preview is it was a bit of a mystery. So I thought this is right up my alley. I do enjoy a mystery, but at the same time I like the closure of it all. But it was so bizarre. So many twists and turns in it. You didn't know where it was going to go. So yeah, I was just entrenched in it as while I was watching, and fun to do that extra bit of investigation as well, and just the psyche of people. Now I know you're right into that as well, but just his interrogation tapes were just bizarre. Yeah, so just the way he acted in them, and it's just stone cold, and you could just see he's a monster. But then he claimed to be like not knowing what happened. He tried that for a bit. It's like, bullshit, mate. You know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely do yourselves a favour if you haven't watched this one. This is one to put on your list for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right, mate. Well, what have we got next week for the listeners?
Next week, I've got to read it because all week I've been thinking it's the Mike Myers movie, So I Married an Ex-Murderer, but it's not that. This is the Netflix documentary, Should I Marry a Murderer?
Imagine you fall in love with someone who made you feel accepted, wanted, seen, who made you feel whole and loved and special, and you are just so happy. And then they say to you, I've done a horrible, horrible thing. Something so vile. It flips your entire world upside down.
Mountain rescue teams are searching for a man who's been missing for more than a week.
There was not a single trace of him alive ever again.
He's effectively disappeared into thin air.
To remain in love, you have to keep this secret that you know is going to destroy you. But if you reveal it, then you destroy everything. I mean, what would you do?
I've been seeing so many Instagram videos of people bagging the shit out of the woman that's involved in this doco. I have not watched it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to have a bit of fun with it.
Initially, I was like, fucking people are being a bit harsh on her. But she just gets worse and worse. But she's in a manic, psychotic state. Like, I felt bad for making fun of her, or like the people making fun of her. But you can see why.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to you teasing her about her physical appearance. I'm sure there's something you'll pick out.
No, actually, no.
No, okay.
No, she's a very intelligent, beautiful, young Scottish lady.
Okay, so no characters from Tales of the Crypt in this one.
No.
Well, that's good, mate. Well, I really enjoyed this episode, and if you enjoyed this episode as well, please do all the things that we've been begging you to do, and that's rate and review our show on Spotify or Apple or wherever you listen to your podcast, because we really appreciate it.
We've just added the tip jar as well.
Yeah, the tip jar. Don't forget about the tip jar. Give us all your hard-earned money.
Things asking
yes.
for.
I got to say, because we've got hundreds of followers now and on Spotify as well, yet we've only got 60 reviews on Spotify. So what are you other few hundred people doing? If you want to follow us, the math is not mathing, Chris. You've got 65-star reviews. Fucking get on there and help us out a bit. But anyway, we're speaking about so we're blue in the face. I'm not going to do it anymore, all right?
Until next week.
Until next week. That's it. Well, until next time, Chris, try not to murder anyone.
You too, mate. All right. Love ya.
Bye.